When you think of the Maori people of New Zealand, what comes to mind? For many, it's the image of powerful warriors, their faces adorned with intricate tattoos known as tamoko. They are a people with a formidable history, a culture forged in strength and resilience. They seem utterly fearless. But even the bravest warriors have things they fear, things that haunt the dark corners of their world. For the Maori, one of their greatest terrors lurked not on the battlefield, but deep within the dense, ancient forests. They called them the Maero. So, what exactly were these creatures that could strike fear into the hearts of such a courageous people? The Maero, according to tradition, were wild, savage beings of the forest. Imagine a figure, humanoid in shape but utterly untamed. They were described as being covered from head to toe in shaggy hair, with long, spindly, and unnervingly bony fingers. These fingers weren't just for grasping. They were weapons, sharp and strong enough to spear their prey, which they would then devour raw, right there in the undergrowth. Now, you might be thinking this sounds familiar. A hairy, bipedal, humanoid creature living in the wilderness? It certainly brings to mind other famous cryptids from around the globe, like the Sasquatch of North America or the Yeti of the Himalayas. And while there are definite similarities in their physical descriptions, the Maero have a crucial difference. Their origins aren't just mysterious or biological. They are deeply supernatural, woven into the very fabric of Maori spirituality and folklore. They weren't just another animal. They were something else entirely, something ancient and magical. This supernatural element is best illustrated in one of the most famous Maori tales about them. The story tells of a man named Tukoyo, a brave individual who had a terrifying encounter with a Maero while venturing through the forest. He didn't run. Instead, he stood his ground and fought the creature. The battle was fierce, but Tukoyo was a skilled warrior. He managed to overcome the Maero, and in a brutal display of his prowess, he severed its arms, its legs, and finally, its head. Believing the monster to be vanquished, Tukoyo decided to take its head back to his village as proof of his incredible deed. As he began his journey, hoisting the grisly trophy onto his shoulder, something impossible happened. The severed head began to scream. It shrieked a chilling cry that echoed through the trees. My children, I am being dragged off." Imagine the absolute terror of that moment. A man, fresh from a life-or-death struggle, now holding a screaming, dismembered head. Tukoyo, understandably horrified, dropped the head and fled back to the safety of his village as fast as his legs could carry him. Shaken but determined, he gathered other warriors from his village. They needed to see this for themselves and ensure the threat was truly gone. Armed and ready for anything, Tukoyo led the party back to the site of the battle. But when they arrived, they found nothing. Not the head, not the limbs, not a single trace of the Maero's remains. It was as if the creature had never been there. The chilling implication was clear. The Maero's body parts had somehow, magically, pulled themselves back together, and the creature had simply walked away, perhaps wounded but very much alive. This story reveals the true nature of the Maero's terror. It wasn't just their physical strength or their savage appearance that was frightening. It was their otherworldly power, their ability to defy the very laws of life and death. How do you fight an enemy that can reassemble itself after being torn limb from limb? You can't. The Maero weren't just wild men of the woods. They were immortal spirits of the forest, a terrifying and permanent part of the natural world. They represent a primal fear, the fear of a wilderness that is not just untamed, but supernaturally hostile and impossible to conquer. So the next time you picture a fearless Maori warrior, remember the Maero, the creature that haunted their darkest forests and their deepest fears. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this dive into folklore as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows of history. Let me know in the comments what legends you'd like to see me cover next.